This week celebrates the 20th year anniversary of the Men's Health Week that's going on. It's usually done the week of Father's Day. And today we have Dr. Wayment from the Ogden Clinic and special guest Val. I want to get to your story in just a sec because you guys are going to love this. This Men's Health Week, what's going on and why is this so important?
Well, it's a great time of year to lead up to Father's Day to, I guess, celebrate fathers and remind them that men's health is important. I think it's something that always has been and continues to be overlooked by many men.
Dr. Wayman,
Yeah.
are men getting checkups? I mean, there's been so much public campaigns, you know, to get, you know, colonoscopies, things of that nature. But are men reluctant to do it, or are they moving forward?
They seem, well, let me ask you, have you had your checkup?
Of course.
Excellent.
Each and every year.
That's great.
Even the colonoscopy.
That's great.
Which wasn't a favorite.
Not by many. So that's great. Well, I think as far as men getting their checkups, there's obviously still a need. We were discussing on the way down here. We think a lot of the appointments by men in my clinic are probably made by their wives. So a lot of times they're being pushed to go out and get it done, which is sometimes it takes that to accomplish what we need to. So.
Let's get to the psychological part of it then, because why is it that men are reluctant to go to screenings, to go to doctors in general? I know my dad, for one, is like, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm fine.
Well, you know, you got to consider, like, if you think there may be a rectal exam involved, you may be a little nervous.
There you have it. There's your answer right there.
No, well, I think a lot of times guys have that kind of I'm invincible Superman, like don't need to fix it unless it's broken, and the problem is with that there are so many things nowadays with the technology and the laboratory studies that we have that you can diagnose or prevent things so it never becomes a problem.
Okay, Val, we asked you to come on today because you have quite a compelling story that can help a lot of women and hopefully men too. What's your story?
Sure. I actually have more of a passion for men's health than I think most 40-year-olds back when I went through my situation had. I actually was married for almost 19 years and my husband was very healthy. He worked out every day, if not every other day, doing cardio, weightlifting, that kind of stuff. And he was just playing basketball, a fun men's basketball game, and he lined up to take a free throw and he died of a sudden heart attack.
At 46 years old,
At
right?
46,
wow.
Yes. Now, looking back, there were definitely indicators and signs that, you know, I could have been watching for as his wife, and maybe he saw the signs too and had the Superman, you know, stigma that Dr. Wayment's speaking of, but he had a family history. He had high blood pressure.
Heart disease?
Yes, excuse me, yes. Of heart disease, high blood pressure. And he had erectile dysfunction that was starting, you know, a couple of years before he ultimately passed away.
What, you were mentioning the signs. Was he aware of that? Was he reluctant to get checkups, things of that?
Most definitely. He did.
What did he say?
He went for his high blood pressure medication refills. But as far as really going in and doing the cardio checkups that Dr. Wayment, you know, they're indicators that Dr. Wayment would have when, you know, you go to see a physician where they assess your risk factors. But I do think that there was definitely an invincible kind of thought process with both of us. You know, at 40, that kind of stuff doesn't happen.
Sure.
And so when we talk about men's health and we talk about, you know, assessing risk, it is more than just the important men in our lives' role to help with that.
Dr. Wayment, I just want to know, men of different ages, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s and up, are there different screenings for different ages?
There are. Well, young men, oftentimes it's just laboratory values to check cholesterol and to check blood glucose for diabetes and heart disease, and then hypertension, so blood pressure check, and then a basic physical exam. As we age, we get into our later 40s and 50s, then we start worrying about things like colonoscopy that we mentioned before, screening for prostate cancer, and those are the things we start with initially.
Here's the frustrating thing for a person my age. It's like, you know, you want to be you know, exercising, doing all sorts of things, but then something fails, a limb, you know, a lot of it is limbs going to my age. I mean, it's a frustrating thing because you want to swim, all of a sudden your shoulder hurts, you know, you want to do some weights and then all of a sudden the other shoulder hurts. It's just pulling apart at that time.
So what's the message that you want men to have?
Well, I think, you know, my grandma said it best when I was young. She said, you know, that the old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And it really is that way. There are so many things that are either diagnosed very early and very treatable or even preventable with some medication. And I think that it's just an important thing for men to do if they're worried about their families and their future. It's wisdom to get checked.
I love all that. And do what Dr. Wayment said, women. Go out there and make the phone call for your own spouse or your dad or your uncle or brother, whoever it might be, to go out and get these screenings. It's all happening this week. There's the information right there from the Ogden Clinic on our screen. You can go over to goodforutah.com and we'll have all that information for you as well. Appreciate you, Val, telling your story and sharing that with us. Thanks, Dr. Wayment, for being here. Curtis? What's
very important message. Thank you very much. Coming up next on Good Things Utah.